3 positions on the grid. Ben Morganroot in the Mazda RX-7 is on the 2nd row. Willie Hepburn in the 2nd of the RX-7s is down on the 3rd row. And then another Alpha. Then we go down to the next rows of the grids. Rouse and Cavalieri, Charlton and Taylor. Dave Charlton stepping in for Tony Swan, who was unable to make the trip to South Africa in the RX-7. Tony Viana in the BMW 535i down there. Then de Kock and Van der Merwe in the Alfa GTV6. Els in the BMW, that's funny, Els in the BMW 535, and then Coetzee and Cavalieri in another BMW as well. So an interesting lineup there. It's a Le Mans type start. You see the drivers are all in the cars, the co-drivers on the other side of the track. They've got the keys of the car. Once the off is given, those co-drivers will dash across the track, hand the key to the drivers in the car, and get out of the way quickly, because the race will then be on. There's a minute to go before the start of this race. It's a 2-hour endurance race. They should be hitting about 70 laps altogether in the race, and it's going to be a tight battle, I think, between the Alfas, the Mazdas and the BMWs right up the front there in the top classes, and then a little bit lower down in the other classes. It's going to be between the Golf cars. 30 seconds to go. With me in the commentary box is Roger McCleary, and we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on what's happening between the Alfas and the Mazdas and the BMWs right up the front. As I say, the Golf down further. It'll be an exciting battle there. Double points in the championship for this particular race. Each car in each class awarded 10, 8, 6, 4 and 2 respectively. Double points. There goes Abel D'Oliveira's key in. Starts up the engine. You can see a big red light underneath the steering wheel there, and away they go all over the place. There are 52 cars in this race. One of the Mazda RX-7s left behind on the starting grid there. Let's hope he didn't drop the key, because he's going to have to look for it before they complete their first lap. And as they come down towards Crowthorne for the first time, sorting themselves out, a big bunch, 52 cars, as I say, sorting themselves out, and we have got in the lead at the moment. It looks like one of the GTV6s. Certainly we've got a Mazda up there in about 3rd place, a BMW in about 4th place, all sorting themselves out as they get safely around Crowthorne for the first time, and down, stretching themselves out now through Yuxke and down to Sunset for the first time. Let's just sort out the positions as they come now into Clubhouse. Round through Clubhouse for the first time, down towards the S's. Everybody sorting themselves out now into the S's, where a lot of oil was laid down a little bit earlier on during the modified saloon car race. That's been covered up by cement dust. You can still see puffs of it as the cars go through the S's and up the hill now towards Leo Cup for the first time.
Alan, I think that's Arnold Chats in the front there with Derek Bell, and then it looks like Willie Hepburn in 3rd position, or Ben Morganroot. We'd have to get a lot closer, but it looks like Chats and Nico Bianco that have got their car lead ahead of Chats and Maurizio Bianco, and then it's Derek Bell in the blue GTV in 2nd position, and that the BMW, there's the two the Gunson BMWs coming along not too far behind.
Arnold Chats indeed in the lead there. Co-driver Maurizio Bianco will be driving later on in the car, but it's Arnold Chats in the lead. Derek Bell in 2nd place. You can see the puffs of flame as they change down there. The two BMWs going through almost side by side into Crowthorne. That was number 14 there, Leon de Kock. Number 3 in your picture at the moment is Mike Formato. And now they stretch themselves over and come over the top. The blue flag's waving there to indicate a car. There are cars trying to overtake, and they'll be waving those blue flags, I should think, quite a bit. Now coming up through the pack there is Abel D'Oliveira car. Oh, and sliding out the back end of that BMW there. Abel D'Oliveira pushing him right to the limit. There's the two BMs. Tony Viana, car number 1 there. Tony Viana in that 535i. The 2nd of the 535Is, that's Fanny Els. There he is, car number 2, going through the S's now and up the hill towards Leerkop. And there is the first of the Mazdas, pushing hard on funny else. There is that Ben Morgenrud. Ben Morgenrud it is, and whoops, sliding out there, almost coming to grief. As they came out of Leerkop, they're using up all the track and sliding out the back end. They came round there, but safely onto the straight, and down they come now. And still, Arnold Schatz. And now down underneath the Dunlop Bridge and down towards Crowthorne, into Crowthorne. Quite a bunch of cars here, alfas. Mixing up there, Ben Morgenrud coming round. There he goes in the little RX-7. Then we got the BMWs, but it's alfas right up the front at the moment. That's Derek Bell, winner of the Le Mans 24-hour race and a member of the Rothmans Porsche team that we'll be seeing in action at the Castrol 1000 meeting here in December. He flies out directly after this race and off to Japan, where he will be racing the penultimate round of the Saloon Car, the Sports Car Championships, the Endurance Championships, the final round being here at Kyalami in December. That is Derek Bell, and Derek Bell was today sharing the car with local driver Nicola Bianco. Said he found the car very difficult to get used to, coming down from the very, very high-powered 600 or 700 horsepower Porsche cars that he's used to driving, down to a car of the horsepower of this size, which is about, what, about 200 horsepower, I suppose. Coming up now into Leerkop, Derek Bell.
Right, and as they come out of there, I think the drive so far has been Abel D'Oliveira after that bad start. We were right next to his front door as the flag went down. Abel had trouble getting his car off the line quickly. He was about 6 or 7 when he got away. And that's D'Oliveira now challenging Schatz. Arnold Schatz on the left-hand side, Abel D'Oliveira, that white spoiler underneath his headlights. And then it's Mike Formato and Willem van Zyl from Pretoria as they rush down past this little Mini on the left-hand side. Then it is the Willie Hepburn car, the Willie Hepburn, and it's Schatz just holding off Abel D'Oliveira. It's Arnold Schatz from Johannesburg, Abel D'Oliveira from Pretoria, and then he's got Willem van Zyl and Mike Formato who's at the wheel of that third car that's also from Pretoria. So it's the 3 GTVs in the front, and then we've got is it Derek Bell in 4th position. Here they come now over the horizon. And 4th position, it looks like it's Willie Hepburn right in there. Then Derek Bell in the blue car coming towards us. He's sharing the car with Nico Bianco. And it's Schatz and Mauricio Bianco's car in the front, and Abel is challenging all the way. D'Oliveira's making a race of this all the way. He's going to take him on the inside. He's got him. And Schatz goes wide. Abel D'Oliveira, of the thick lenses, we always like to say, he goes particularly well when it's raining or when it's very oily, the circuit. And Abel is right in there in 2nd position. He's come from about 6th or 7th off the grid, and now he's right up there in 2nd position. It's Arnold Schatz still in the front. There's D'Oliveira on the right-hand side. Then it's Mike Formato in 3rd position. In car number 3 there, he's sharing it with Willem van Zyl from Glenwood Brothers, Pretoria. And that Mazda's right in there with them. And they've got a long way to go. They've done 3 laps. They'll have over 60 to go. Over 60 to go, and that Mazda's closing on them. Certainly Willie Hepburn is closing on them round the circuit. He seems to lose out on them as they go down this long kilometre straight down to Marlborough Corner. Then it is Derek Bell in there as well. He's sharing the car with Nico Bianco. Then it's the other Mazda of Ben Morgenrud, the Mazda RX-7 right in there. Then the 2 BMs. Tony Viana's in there with a 535, and finally else, and D'Oliveira's got it. D'Oliveira's in the front there. That Pretoria Brick and Glenwood cars is in the front, and going wide. He's really pushing it to the limit. He was the fastest on the grid yesterday. They all said he is using the softer qualifying tyres to be almost a second faster than the next man, which is Arnold Schatz yesterday. And there's Mike Formato trying to go around the outside of Arnold Schatz. There it is, D'Oliveira. It's Arnold Schatz. It's Mike Formato. And then it's Willie Hepburn. Then it's Derek Bell in the blue car. And then it's Ben Morgenrud and another one of the Mazdas. And there they just slide all the way. That's heavy on tyres. Very, very heavy on tyres. D'Oliveira getting that inside front wheel lifting. And then it's Arnold Schatz. And these are the new 3-litre GDVs. They've just been in production a couple of months now. And that's Chats now in second position with Famata challenging. He's in the white car, just behind him. And then we've got Willie Hepburn, and Willie Hepburn, don't ever discount Hepburn. He's a hard driver, he's a very, very quick driver, and he knows Kyalami extremely well. You can see them set up the cars sideways, they go into West Bank, and Hepburn's right in there. That's D'Oliveira right in the front there, and D'Oliveira's getting away from them. Never mind the soft tires. There's Bell at the back of that pack there in fifth position, Derek Bell in the blue car, and they'll be finishing 5 laps as they come through now.
Abel D'Oliveira finishes fifth lap there, ahead of Arnold Chats. Then Mike Formato, Willie Hepburn, Nico Bianco, Derek Bell. At the wheel of that car, Ben Morganrud, Tony Viana and Funny Else. So the BMWs at the moment lying in 7th and 8th positions. We've got Alfa, then Mazda, and 2 BMWs. And taking one of the Alfas going through there, and there is a problem for Tony Viana. He has lost his bonnet catch, the bonnet lifting up there in front of him. That is going to be a problem. He's going to have to pit stop at some stage. He'll be peering out over that, and he won't want to stop if I know Tony Viana. But he may certainly have to pull into the pits to have that bonnet slammed down, and that, of course, is going to need him time. Let's take a look at these two cars. They're lying in 7th and 8th position at the moment. And Tony now slowing down dramatically. Around the side of him there goes the BMW driven by, it looks like Cliff Coetzee behind the wheel. Yes, going there. So Tony Viana slowing down, and Funny Else now moving up, and Funny Else sliding those big BMW petrol-injected 535 cars round Clubhouse there, as if they were on an ice pad. Round through the S's, and behind them now Tony Viana is still circling the track. Tony Viana is still keeping up with them. In actual fact, he's just behind these two BMWs. And let's see where he comes out. Is he going to pull into the pits this time? We'll have to keep an eye on. There he is at the third car in the picture with the bonnet up. Is he going to pull in the pits? It certainly doesn't look like it. He's going down the middle of the straight, peering over that bonnet. He's signaling to his pits that his bonnet catch is open, and his bonnet is open as if his pits couldn't see it as he went past. So it may well be. Let's keep an eye on Tony Viana now to see if he does pull into the pits. He's losing time all the time because obviously the wind will be pushing that bonnet up. He's been losing time, falling back places, and it's quite obvious that he's going to have to pull into the pits. And these BMWs are just sliding all over the place. Very, very powerful machines, as we've seen in previous Group 1 races. Tremendous battles between the RX-7s, the Alfas, and these big 535s. Tony Viana is still there with them. He's a little bit further back, but just look at the smoke from the tires as they slide through Sunset. Watch them sliding now into and out of Clubhouse. Opposite block as they go round, and Funny Else, they're flipping the back end. There comes Viana behind them. Viana with that bonnet still up. He's right behind these two cars. And these two BMWs up the hill now towards Leerkop. And as they come out of Leerkop, we'll probably get a glimpse of Tony Viana and see if he's going to make his pit stop now. And look at the way Funny Else is sliding that car out of Leerkop, using up all the tarmac he can find. Well, now Viana is coming down behind this group into the kink. The bonnet is still there. Here he comes. It's the orange car, the last car in the picture. Is he pulling into the side? No, he's not. No, he's not. He goes across the start-finishing line again, indicating to his pits that his bonnet is up. Right down through Barbecue Bend now and up towards the Yotsuke Sweep, down towards Sunset. Big bunch of cars, the marshals waving that blue flag in the background. Here come the two BMWs. Tony Viana is still behind. That's Cliff Coetzee there. There goes Funny Else, sliding it once again, coming through now into the clubhouse corner. Those two big machines all over the track, and Funny Else going very, very wide and out onto the dirt. And through they go. Through they go. Viana still circulating with that bonnet loose. And it's slowing him down because he has fallen back quite a bit. We've still got Abel d'Oliveira in the lead. Here is the leader now, Abel d'Oliveira, the Alfa GTV6. Arnold Schatz is in second place still. We've got Willie Hepburn in third. And the leaders in the various classes at the moment, that's Abel d'Oliveira in Class T. In Class U, we've got Henny van der Linde. In Class B, we got Cyril van der Merwe in the Golf GTVI. Cyril, of course, who's leading the Group 1 Championship at the moment, and will be very anxious to win his class today and get double points and make up his positions. Tony Viana, the man who's third in the championship at the moment, as we watch those little Mazda RX-7 circulating. And here comes Tony Viana. Here's Tony Viana into the pits. The mechanics shoving the bonnet down. It looks as if the catch may well be broken, but is it? They can't get it to close properly. That bonnet, of course, opens from nearest the driver. It opens forward. Other cars now coming into the pits, making their pit stop. Each car has to make a compulsory pit stop for a change of tires, refueling, and of course a change of driver. They can do it at any stage they want during the race, but they'll be anxious to get themselves a good lead. Tony Viana in there, obviously with a lot of problems. They're going to tape that bonnet down as we come back and look at the leader, Abel d'Oliveira, and pushing him up the hill there, we've got Ben Morgenrud in that little Mazda RX-7. That isn't Abel d'Oliveira. The position of this is Ben Morgenrud coming through Leerkop. Here are the leaders coming down the straight, and the positions at the moment. In the lead overall, Abel d'Oliveira in the Alfa GTV6. Then another GTV right behind him, driven by Arnold Schatz. Then we got Willie Hepburn in third place in the Mazda RX-7, with the second of the RX-7s driven by Ben Morgenrud in fourth place. Mike Fumato in the Alfa is in fifth place, and Nico Bianco and Derek Bell, with Derek Bell on the wheel at the moment, in another Alfa in seventh place. Cliff Goodsir in the BMWs in eighth place, followed by Funny Else. So we've got two Alfas, two Mazdas, two more Alfas, and two BMWs fighting it out here after 8 laps in this 2-hour race. A long way to go. A lot of things can happen. Join us later at Kyalami. In the meantime, back to the studio. I mean that you can put him behind the wheel of virtually anything these days, and he will still make mincemeat of the competition, driving this little GTI in great style, a very steady drive, driving absolutely beautifully. But the overall position hasn't changed much since you left us. It's Abel d'Oliveira in the GTV6 still in the lead. Arnold Schatz in second position. Willie Hepburn moving into third place, or in third place still in the RX-7. And then Derek Bell has taken that blue Alfa GTV up into fourth place, knocking Ben Morgenrud in the Mazda RX-7 down one place to fifth. Cliff Goodsir in the BMW 535 is up into sixth place now, as Funny Else also moves up into seventh place. And we have still the battle going on right up the front between Abel d'Oliveira and Arnold Schatz. And a little bit of news from the racetrack today is that we understand a protest has been lodged against the Alfas. One of the rules of Group 1 racing is that all the cars which race must be production model cars, and the protest has been lodged on the basis that the Alfa GTV6, this 3-litre model which is racing here today, is not as yet a production model car. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after the race, whether the protest will be considered by the clerk of the course, but we understand that the protest has been lodged on behalf of another team, and it'll be interesting to see what happens a little bit later on. So the results that we'll be giving you certainly at the end of the race will be provisional. However, the provisional positions at the moment, whether the cars are illegal or not, here is the leader, the second place man, Arnold Schatz, number 13, going through a pack of slower traffic there. It only took 2 laps before the faster cars were lapping the tail enders. There goes number 10, that's Willie Hepburn. Willie Hepburn going up the hill there alongside the little GTVI, which is driven by John Coetzee and Costa Corello. And the positions as they complete the 15th lap. Abel D'Oliveira there in the lead, Arnold Chatz second place, Willie Hepburn, Nico Bianco and Derek Bell. Derek Bell at the wheel at the moment in the Alfa, and then Ben Morganroot in the Mazda. That's the position after 15 laps. You'll be joining us a little bit later at Kyalami, and we return you for the time being to the studio. The news is that Abel D'Oliveira in the Alfa GTV is still in the lead after 46 laps gone. We are well over halfway. All the cars have now made their compulsory pit stop for a tyre change and fuel, and are back out on the track. Those are the positions. D'Oliveira, Derek Bell, Nico Bianco, they've made their stop, and Nico Bianco is now at the wheel of that GTV. Then we've got Arnold Chatz and Maurizio Bianco in third place, also in the Alfa, and once again an Alfa in fourth place. The first of the Mazda RX-7s is down there at the moment in fifth place. In actual fact, we've just had a change after 46 laps, and that is that Willie Hepburn has moved up into fourth place. Again, he pit stopped a little bit earlier on, took on fuel, went out, did 2 laps and came back into the pits yet once again, but he's back out. It wasn't a very, very long pit stop. I think what happened was that one of the pit crew didn't put the fuel cap back on his car, and he may have seen the fuel spilling out of the back of the car and pulled into the pits to have that rectified. But he's back now and he's in fourth position. Buddy else in the BMW is lying at the moment in fifth position. We've had 47 laps gone. There is just over half an hour left in this race, about 35 minutes in fact, before the race finishes. And this is the man who is leading at the moment in the Alfa, and it's Abel D'Oliveira.
But Abel D'Oliveira's lead at the moment is just on 33 seconds at the moment. There's a second man, and that's the Nico Bianco, Derek Bell car, and they have been pressing on to good effect. Derek Bell pitted when they were lying in third or fourth position, I think it was, as he came in. They took on 2 tyres, they filled up with gas, and Nico Bianco has been pressing on now very hard in an attempt to catch Abel D'Oliveira, 32 seconds out front. Just as a matter of interest, the classes that we've got... Another Julian, you might have seen him spin on the preview that was Alan Johnson had on the TV last night. And then in Class X, Louis Parsons got into his accustomed first position in his little Alpha Sprint there. Phil Webb was leading that class in the XR3 Piranha, going very quickly, but the pit stops have changed that order in that race. So Louis Parsons is just ahead of him there, with Phil Webb second in the Piranha, and in third position we've got Tini Oosthuizen, who's driving in the another little small engine Toyota. And then in the smallest class that we have here this afternoon, for those that follow this kind of racing, it's an R5 driven by Graham Cooper. He's in the lead ahead of Andy Talone. Those 2 little Renaults have been circulating very closely the whole afternoon, and in third position at class is Mike Wetzel in one of the Nissan Pulsars. Anyway, there's Willie Hepburn in front of you now. He's in a very effective driver. He's competitive in any motor car you put him in. He's particularly competitive in the RX-7 Mazda. He really can make them haul down these long straights of Kyalami. And there we've got Coetzee and Cavalieri, that's Giorgio Cavalieri's BM, coming alongside him there. Willie's looking at his mirror, signaling over to his pitch, you can see, saying, come past me if you want to. And Willie at the moment is lying fourth in the Mazda. As Alan told you, he came into the pits a second time. It looked to have a fuel cap tightened on the car. You see the flames come out of that car as he takes the foot off. There's some fuel left in the exhaust pipe, and the flames come up. Very characteristic of those rotary engine Mazda. They're not turbocharged. And look at him try and take that tighter line there, and he's going to try and take him on the outside. And is he going to get past Cliff Coetzee? And it's Giorgio Cavalieri, that's the older Cavalieri brother. Paolo was driving with Andy Rouse. They retired a little early on, and Giorgio is right in there with Willie Hepburn. He's done all the driving himself. They've been going now for nearly an hour and a half. There's a half an hour to go, and Willie Hepburn is really starting to press on there. He's lying in 4th position at the moment. 5th is the Farney Elf BMW, the Gunson BMW. Then we've got Ben Morganrood, who lost time during the early stage of the race. And then an old favourite, that's Dave Charlton, who took over the place from Tony Swan, who was due to come over from the States. And Dave is driving with a man who's been in motor racing an awful long time. That's Clary Taylor from Cape Town, driving to very good effect. They're in 7th position, and Clary and Dave Charlton, and you could really call them old men in motor racing. Taylor, 29 years in motor racing. He says he's going to retire when he's completed 30 years in motor, and he's still very, very competitive indeed. And in 8th position overall, we've got Sarel van der Merwe in the little 1800 Golf GTR, 8th overall in this very, very competitive field. And there's the order now, 50 laps. We've got half an hour to go, and it's Abel D'Oliveira in the Glenwood motor cars in the front there. Oopsie, that's Hepburn into the pits again. Let's see what he's going to do now. They're looking in. Oh, they're going to put fuel in. He's coming for more fuel. He might have lost it when the fuel cap came loose, and they're putting in the not allowed pressure fillers. There'll be fire extinguisher around. They've got to fill it from a can, a 20-litre can, but that's putting it in now. There they come now. They're putting, that's the water going down in case they spill any fuel, and they'll spill it. That's it, just putting water over the fuel. It's a bit of a Heath Robinson way of doing it, but that's how the rules go. Right, there's number 13 at the moment. That's Arnold Chatz and Maurizio Bianco. They're lying in 3rd position. That's Maurizio at the wheel now. Arnold Chatz was lying in 2nd position almost throughout the first hour, and he went down to 3rd just before he pitted and handed over to Maurizio Bianco. So there it is. Abel D'Oliveira in the lead in the Alpha GDV. Nico Bianco and Derek Bell 2nd in the GDV, and Arnold Chatz and Maurizio Bianco 3rd in the GTV at the moment, with the 4th man, Willie Hepburn, stationed in the pits at the moment. And from Kyalami, for the moment, back to the studio in Johannesburg.
This race, because what is happening now as we follow the BMW 535 driven by Funny Else round the circuit here. Just watch the way this car is handling. He's having to slide it into the corners. He's using as much of the curb to get grip as he can. The car is got about as much adhesion to the track as a piece of ice on a sheet of glass, and that is because the tires must be getting very, very worn. There's not much tread left on them. Don't forget, these cars are allowed to run on racing tires, on slicks. These are smooth tires, but they're really not up to the type of punishment that the drivers have been giving them today. So Funny Else here is having to battle with this big, heavy car. Watch him now as he goes through Clubhouse corner, using up the curb, the car sliding all over the place, and this is what it's been like, not only for Funny Else, but for many of the other drivers as well. A few moments ago, we had one of the Mazdas, Willie Hepburn's Mazda, coming into the pits for a change of tyres. That must have put him back. We also had the Derek Bell, Nicolo Bianco Alpha GTV coming in for tyres, and a lot of these cars are having a lot of problems. Here's the man who's in the lead still, Abel D'Oliveira in the Alpha. The positions at the moment: Abel D'Oliveira in the lead, Arnold Chatz and Maurizio Bianco 33 seconds behind him. Willie Hepburn is lying at the moment in 3rd place in the Mazda RX-7, with Ben Morganrood in the 2nd in the Mazdas with 4th place. Then we had Nico Bianco and Derek Bell. Our timekeepers tell us he's still officially placed in 4th place, so he must have got back onto the track in plenty of time. And then moved up now into 6th place, Dave Charlton and Larry Taylor in Mazda RX-7. The BMW that we were watching a moment ago has now dropped down into 7th place, and in 8th place we have got Sarel van der Merwe in the Golf, and that is the position with 63 laps gone. We have got something in the region of about 10 minutes left on this. Yes, we have got 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes in fact, 9 and 45 seconds left in this race, as the leader, Abel D'Oliveira, probably battling with the tyres on the car too, although he looks as in a little more control than certainly the BMW was a bit earlier on. But with the 10 minutes left, those are the positions. A very interesting race it's been, and certainly a lot of drivers have been battling. We've had a lot of spin-offs. There is a lot of rubber on the track in various parts, particularly down at Crowthorne Corner, and that seems to be one of the corners that's been giving them a lot of problems. The S's and Clubhouse, you can see the rubber marks on the road here as they go through Clubhouse Corner. There's a lot of rubber there and not much adhesion for these drivers.
But as into the first of the S's goes Abel D'Oliveira, the Pretoria car in the lead now by 33 seconds, as Alan told you. And then it's the Arnold Chats Maurizio Bianco car in second spot. But Willie Hepburn, he's the man who's really been pressing on. He's been down to sixth. He's up to third position now.
When we're talking about the adhesion, here is one of the Mazda RX-7s. That is number 11. That is Ben Morgenrud. And here is the Alfa in front of him, which just lost it completely going through the corner. Arnold Chats Maurizio Bianco behind the wheel, lost it completely as he went through there. And that's what's been happening time and time again over the last few laps. There'll probably be plenty more. The car that we saw at the beginning, the BMW, is still circulating, but of course with every lap there's a little bit less rubber left on those tires, and becoming very, very difficult to handle. Drivers too must be getting tired. It's been a long race for them. They've been going now for the last 45 minutes after their pit stops and tire changes, and the pressure is now telling on them. But Abel D'Oliveira still hanging on to the lead.
Right, and in your picture now, the fifth man, Nicola Bianco, and that's the Derek Bell car. It was up into second position, and then the fuel cap came off, and he went in for more fuel. And while he was there, he changed to another left front tyre. Those are the tyres that really get worn at Kyalami. Most of the corners are right-handers, and the left front tyre is the one that normally gets worn out first. So he went in for his second tyre change, and that's always the penalty you have when you drive very hard in the early part of a long-distance race. If you overdo it in the early stage, you're just going to have to stop more often for tyres, because Kyalami can be very, very hard on tyres. As they always say, if you get your compounds right for Kyalami with quite a high content of granite in the tar, you normally find your tyres are right for all the circuits around the country, in fact around the world. This is what the GP drivers find it is. So that's the car that's lying fifth at the moment. It's been up to second position. It's Derek Bell was driving in the early stages, and then he handed over to Nico Bianco, braking hard down there for Marlborough Corner. So that's the Bianco car and the Derek Bell car exiting there. You can see they're using all the road. This road is slippery now. It's had a lot of rubber put down. There's certainly a bit of oil has gone down too. And there you have, with 65 laps and about 6 minutes to go, the position. Abel D'Oliveira, who's led this race almost throughout. He got a bad start. You might have seen the start earlier this afternoon when he stood there and couldn't get the car off the line quick enough. It wouldn't start that quickly. Then we've got Arnold Chats and Maurizio Bianco, and then Willie Hepburn really pressing on. A little way behind, though, ahead of Ben Morgenrud in another RX-7, and Dave Charlton and Clary Taylor in another RX-7 Mazda. They've been doing exceptionally well. And that looks like Bianco coming up in incredible Sarel van der Merwe. As Alan told you, he won a all-makes race, or a Giulietta race, early in the afternoon, and Sarel van der Merwe, what his trick is normally when he has his partner with him, that's 51 Tony Martin, but when he has Jeff Mortimer with him, they push each other along, literally push each other along. And in practice yesterday, he was pushing one of the competitors who normally get round the circuit in 1 minute and 56 seconds. Well, Sorrell got in behind him, and he pushed him all the way down to Marlborough Corner. And this driver was past his normal braking mark and the second braking mark and his third braking mark, and Sorrell was still pushing. He'd never been into Marlborough just as quick, and he actually took 3 seconds off his lap time and went to the front of that particular class. So Sarel van der Merwe is no mean driver and helps other competitors on the circuit. Well, the order's staying the same now as we get into the final stages. It's not long to go now. Still led by Abel D'Oliveira in that Glenwood Motors 3-litre GTV.
So Sarel van der Merwe there leading the index. His average lap 108.75. An index error of 3.64 as we watch Abel D'Oliveira going in now to the last 4 or 5 minutes of this race. And heading down towards the Uxgay sweep now and up around towards Sunset. They'll probably have another 3 laps or so, another 2 or 3 laps, depending on how close the watch is to the 2-hour mark. But by our watches here in the commentary point, we make it to be 4 minutes left in the race. Abel D'Oliveira in the Alpha GTV6. Arnold Chatt still lying in second position in the second of the GTVs. Then we've got the 2 Mazda RX-7s with Willie Hepburn in third place and Ben Morganrood in fourth. In fifth place, the Derek Bell, Nico Bianco Alpha. And it is lying in fifth place, as I said, and sixth, Dave Charlton and Clary Taylor in a Mazda RX-7. Then Funny Else in that BMW that you saw a few moments ago, sliding all over the circuit. And then Cyril van der Merwe. And interesting to see Cyril van der Merwe in 8th place overall in this race and competing in a 1.6-litre car as against the 3-litre Alpha GTVs. And as I did say a little bit earlier on, that there was the possibility of a protest against these Alphas because they are not a full production model yet. We will see what the outcome of that is as we go 3 minutes from the end of this race. We are looking at number 10. This is Willie Hepburn, who's still driving like a demon. That little puff of flame from the afterburners in the engine as he changes down and goes through Leocock now. The sun beginning to sink down behind Leocock. As our camera looks out towards it, you can see the long shadow of that little Mazda RX-7 there on the track as he comes round across the start and finish line on what must be his second last lap. Here is the leader, Abel D'Oliveira. He must also be on his second last lap, going round that very, very slippery part of the track and using up as much as he can. But it looks certainly as if his tyres have been holding out a lot better than some of the other machines on the track. Certainly some of the cars who were making pit stops today, they came in and hit the brakes to drive into the pit lane, and because of the fact that there was very, very little adhesion on their tyres, they overshot the pit lane completely. Some of them had to reverse up a little bit to get into it, but that is just an indication of the wear and tear that the pace of the driving that they've been putting onto these tyres has been resulting in today. So there we are under 2 minutes to go. They must certainly be on their last lap. The checkered flag will be going out in just a moment as we look down underneath Marlborough Bridge. And here is the leader, Abel D'Oliveira, who's driven a very, very steady race indeed, right from the word go. He was there right from the word go and has driven a very, very steady race indeed. The checkered flag is going to go out. It will be given to the winner. There is 1 minute according to our stopwatch left. The checkered flag will be out for the winner any moment. This is the leader. We will give you the provisional results as soon as we take the checkered flag. As he goes through Sunset with what, well, it may well be the last time. It may well be the last time for him. 2 hours behind him. 68 laps completed. Well, we were very close. We said probably about 70 laps. So 68, 69 laps completed in the race. Abel D'Oliveira goes through the S's and up the hill towards Leocock for the last time in this 3-litre Alpha GTV6. Arnold Chatt is still in second place. Willie Hepburn in Ben Morganrood and the 2 Mazdas in third and fourth. Nico Bianco, Derek Bell in fifth place, also in an Alpha, and in sixth place Dave Charlton and Clary Taylor in a Mazda RX-7. So it has been a battle today between the Alphas and the Mazdas, as indicated by the grid position yesterday. We're in the last few seconds of the race. There is the checkered flag for Abel D'Oliveira. He takes the checkered flag. Any second now we'll be having the second baseman coming down the straight to take it. And look, to our lodge Sparkplug Group 1 race is over. One car coming down. Will he finish in a cloud of smoke? He certainly will. That is car number 63 there, just trying to get across. That was Carlo Capello and Philip Boyson in their Alfa, taking the checkered flag. So after those 70 laps, we were spot on by saying 70 laps for this 2-hour race. The provisional results, and I would stress the point, provisional results: Abel D'Oliveira, the Alfa GTV6 in first place, Arnold Schatz and Maurizio Bianco in second place, Willie Hepburn and Ben Morgan-Rood following up in third and fourth places in the Mazda RX-7s. In fifth place, Nico Bianco and Derek Bell in the Alfa GTV6, and in sixth place overall, Dave Charlton and Clary Taylor in a Mazda RX-7. Seventh and eighth overall, Funny Els in a BMW 535i, and in eighth place, Cyril van der Merwe in the Golf GTBI. So there we are, Abel D'Oliveira waving to the crowds, and we return you from an exciting day's racing to the studio in Johannesburg.